Mansour, 42 years old, a 1-inch height advantage, slight reach advantage for Fred Kassi. They both are big men. They both have power. Kassi with 10 wins by knockout, Mansour with 15. And the rules: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref can stop the fight. Fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. Fight is official after 4 rounds. Now let's officially meet them and go to ring announcer Steve Mittman.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest live on NBC Sports is presented by Main Events, Peltz Boxing, BAM Boxing, in association with Johan Promotions, the Sands Casino and Event Center, Bethlehem, and Coors Light. Fights tonight are sanctioned and approved by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Commissioner at ringside, Joel Frank. Executive Director, Greg Serb. The officials assigned, Judge Tom Schreck, Bernard Bruni, and Ronald McNair. The man in charge of the action when the bell rings, Gary Rosado. Timekeeper at the bell, Fred Blumstein. The physicians at ringside, Dr. Bert Blackstone and Dr. Paul Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event this evening. 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, to my right, he's in the blue corner, wearing the dark green and black trunks. He weighed in at 233 pounds. 18 wins, only 2 losses, 10 wins by knockout. He comes to us from New Orleans, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Frederick Big Fred Kassi. Across the ring in the red corner is his opponent. He's wearing the red and black trunks, weighing in at 232 pounds even. 20 wins, only 1 defeat, 15 wins by knockout. From Wilmington, Delaware, presenting Amir Hardcore Mansour. Referee Gary Rosado.
Here, you got your mouthpiece. Fred. Fred. Chief second. Chief second. Come on. Fred, you got your mouthpiece in? Okay. Gave you specific detailed instructions in the locker room. I'm only going to tell you 2 things. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, bang at the bell. All right. Bernard.
Amir Mansour, 20-1 at 42. He still thinks that he can be viable in the heavyweight ranks. And here is Fred Kassi, very loose, coming into this fight. Almost a nothing-to-lose attitude for the man in the green trunks with the black, as round 1 is underway.
It's funny you mentioned his age, Kenny, at 42. To a normal person, that would sound like, very old. Man, what's this guy still doing in the ring? He's a very preserved 42. Those all those years in prison, he wasn't taking any punishment, wasn't, living, doing anything that would, outside of the ring, that would make him take time off his ring years. So he's a very fresh guy, never taken a beating in the ring, and, just very explosive.
The southpaw that is Mansour. As Steve Cunningham said, the man that knows him well, right up there the last time out, they battled in one of the fights of the year. And you said a more quicker fighter than some people would think.
Yeah, his hand speed is very, very deceptive. You look at him and you're like, okay, he's not that fast. But in the ring, this guy can touch you and get out the way. He's athletic and he's powerful.
Looks like one of those fighters that could have played a lot of different sports. Really strong, explosive, athletic. Looks like he'd have been a nice running back or a nice outside linebacker, strong safety, something like that. But, a couple fights ago, you see him do that standing backflip in the middle of the ring, and it's very rare that 235-pound men can do a standing backflip. So he's got that type of athleticism.
Very much feeling out process right now. And Mansour moving in now a little more aggressive on Kassi. He said he really didn't know much about Kassi. He'd wait and see how this fight plays out. Kassi knows a little more about Mansour, having watched his last fight here on NBCSN.
And it's interesting, you see Kassi when he was kind of moving to his side, moving to his right a second ago. He's now moving to his left, but he was moving right into the left hand of Amir Mansour, and that's very interesting. A guy normally will do that when he's looking to counter with his own right hand. So he's looking for Amir Mansour to shoot that left hand, slip to the outside and land his own right. Kassi's now going the other way, though, but I found it interesting because Amir Mansour's hardest punch is probably his left hand, so he's moving right into his wheelhouse.
Mansour has been choosing to go to the body a lot in this first round. That shows growth, you know, that shows, you know, the new team that he's got has really implemented some new things in him. You got a big guy like Kassi here, you want to take his steam away from him early.
And Kassi really hasn't put himself in harm's way too much. He's been pretty effective when he's tried to punch. You know, he hasn't landed anything clean, but he hasn't left any big openings for Amir to, you know, capitalize on. So Amir's got to keep working and breaking him down. Use the jab up and down, set the combinations up, and the punch will land later as the rounds go on.
And a brief moment, Kassi became a southpaw. Mansour pushes the action against the ropes.
Fighters will do that sometimes. If they miss with a big right hand or miss with a big left hook, though, they'll keep that other foot forward just so they're not as susceptible to taking a punch right after that. And then when they get an opportunity, they'll switch back.
Final seconds, round one, main event. More about Amir Mansour and his incredible journey when we come back live on Fight Night.
Welcome back to Fight Night. Well, by now, most of you know Amir Mansour's story. He went to prison for 9 years in the early 2000s and only resumed his career in 2011. The man that trained Mansour in prison during that time was Calvin Davis, a former lightweight boxer who spent 6.5 years developing Mansour into the fighter he is today. Davis was released from prison in September after serving 13 years for a drug conviction. Mansour immediately brought Davis into his camp for this fight and has made him an assistant for this fight. When you ask Mansour about Davis being out, it isn't so much the expression on his face, it's that big, beaming smile.
Thank you, Chris. As we start round two, this scheduled for 10 main event heavyweights. Mansour in the red and black against Fred Kassi. And it's not to belabor the point, but that's the big story, the biggest story of Mansour, missing those 9 years on a drug charge and then a parole violation. 9 prime years of boxing that he's trying to make up now. And as he told us, Steve, he said that before your fight. It's at that precious stage where a loss is a major setback.
Yeah, but that loss to me, that fight, neither one of us lost. You know, both of us won in that fight. You know, I mean, I can say that because I won, but you know, he performed so well. You know, we both performed so well.
That was the best. You're the best fighter he's fought so far. And that was a huge, huge moment for him to fight as well as he did against you, I believe.
Exactly. Yes, it was. It was.
And that was the type of fight that really, you know, set both Steve and Amir apart. You know, Steve in the heavyweight ranks hadn't beaten a guy like Amir Mansour yet. He fought Thomas Adamek, and many people thought he won on the decision. Didn't get that decision. And that was a great opportunity for Steve to show he belonged in the heavyweight ranks against a huge punching, undefeated guy. And, you know, you got to take your hat off to Steve for winning that fight. With that being said, Amir Mansour showed that he belongs. And, you know, it's just more good stuff from him. Anytime you have a heavyweight who punches that hard with both hands, it makes any fight interesting, Kenny.
Very articulate man, smart man, well-read, and in amazing shape. And now, nice shot there to Kassi.
Big right hook by Mansour.
Mansour going to the body on Kassi.
I know what that right hook feels like.
And in addition to that, after he landed that big right hook, very interesting, he focused on the body of Kassi immediately. You know, maybe he didn't go for the knockout. Maybe he, you know, was headhunting a little bit the fights before, but that shows growth also. Got his man hurt, right down to the body. Good, smart boxing from Mansour.
Under a minute in round two. Several experts do not think this fight is going the distance.
Well, I think if Mansour focuses on the body, you know, it definitely won't go the distance, but it's a question of when he decides to put it all together, because he's definitely got all the tools in the tool bag.
One thing I'm noticing about Mansour, I remember after one of my first loss, actually, I was a little more cautious and careful. I still went to work, but you just kept a little more intelligent behind your work. And I see Mansour doing that tonight. You know, he wants to be right. He wants to win. You know, he wants to be perfect.
What about Kassi so far, who again has gone back to that southpaw stance more in this round?
Well, that's basically, you can say that that's desperation. You know, this guy trying to figure out what to do. You know, he's really not doing too much. You know, he's trying to figure out what works. He's looking at the TV as he's throwing punches. I mean, you know, he's trying to figure something out.
It's not easy to figure out Amir Mansour. 20 opponents have not been able to do it as the round comes to an end.
See in the last round, a nice lead right hook by Mansour. Had Kassi up against the ropes. Follows it up with another right hook. Good shot right on the chin. Kassi has nowhere to go. Mansour immediately has to focus on the body.
And now, just moments ago,
He's looking slow, bro. He ain't looking too sharp, all right? Okay. But look, you shoot that right hand, Bring that hook to the body behind it, bro, all right? More than one at a time. We can't just throw one at a time. We're going to win it like that, all right?
All right.
Also, look.
That was the corner of Fred Kassi as we start this third round scheduled for 10. Kassi in the green and black trunks. And Mansour in that last round landing 16-10 advantage on Kassi. 8 of those body shots, at least 8, according to CompuBox, and they were solid body shots.
And that's a good place to invest his punches early in these rounds, Kenny. It's like putting money in the bank for Amir Mansour whenever he digs into the body. He's a big puncher, and when he does that, it you know, wears his opponent down for the later rounds. Good work by Amir.
Let's check in with Chris.
Calvin, released in September after 13 years, you must have a range of emotions right now. What's it feel like to be in Amir's corner at the moment?
Absolutely excited, man, to be here in this corner with him to play this role in his life here. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. I just want to be here in terms of to help Amir move his career forward. We set many, many years and talked about this moment right here. So this here is one of the most memorable moments that I will hold forever in my life, being here at this time here. And it's as close as term as when my mom passed away. This is the second most memorable moment in my life.
6.5 years spent training in prison. Tell us what those workouts were like.
Oh, the workout was brutal. We was really fighting inside of a small closet. There's no more than about 4x4 closet. And we used to go in there and train in there for 3 and 4 hours at a time and work and just go over things repetitively and over again. And we spoke about being great, and we spoke about what it took for being great and the sacrifices that you must make to be great. And this is what Amir is showing right here today, some of the hard work that we put in.
Thanks, Calvin.
Great story. Thank you, Chris. And there you see some punishment being delivered during that time by Amir Mansour. And Fred Kassi taking some blows harder, I believe, in this round than any other.
Yeah, he did. Mansour got him against the ropes there. Kenny ripped off some nice combinations, and it all started from his right jab. He caught Kassi with a couple right jabs and then loaded up to the body. And Cassi's coming back nicely, though, responding nicely to the power shots by Mansour. So we might have a fight on our hands.
These are two big guys, that's for sure. 38 combined wins, 25 knockouts along the way.
I think it's very important to a guy like Mansour. When he comes and he shoots the kitchen sink at you, when he unloads all those hard punches, it's very important for Kassi to come right back and respond to show him, hey, I'm still here, because you can't let him get too much confidence early.
Kassi staying in and digging that left into his side was Mansour.
Gets such good leverage on that punch.
Mansour puts the kitchen sink on some of these punches, most of his punches. He's trying to get you out of here with every punch almost, you know. It's an awesome thing to see a guy like this in such good shape to be able to do that and continue to work through the rounds.
Kassi's not having a batter on himself. He caught a lot of Amir's shots, and you know, he didn't win the round, but he's definitely in the fight.
And as you said, a fight it is right now between Mansour and Kassi.
Okay, we need that uppercut, man. Especially when he throw that long shot. There, that's it right there. All right? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You got the ice on?
See some good work from Amir Mansour. He's got Kassi against the ropes. Came with the right uppercut, came back with a nice right hook. Had Kassi's feet squared up right there, landed some good shots. Nothing too clean, but he's starting to seize momentum of the fight and, you know, had a good third round.
As we start round 4, Mansour in the red with the black trim against Fred Kassi. Kassi's first fight in over a year. Said he wanted a shot against Mansour on national TV. He wanted his moment. And he has taken some shots, delivered some more as well there in the third round. What do you think about the way he's fighting Mansour right now, Steve Cunningham?
I think he's trying to employ Mansour into something big. You know, that's all he's throwing. You know, he's trying to throw big shots. He's trying to use the ring also. He's trying to be smart. But Mansour is putting on some good work, you know, that even if it does go to decision, the judges will score it for Mansour.
And again, Mansour going to the body.
Very important here after Kassi makes Mansour miss. Mansour's really loading up. Those are a lot of hard punches in a row there. It takes him 20, 30 seconds to get his breath back a little bit. Kassi could really step to him and really try to take advantage after Amir Mansour missed some of those big shots like that.
That's that kitchen sink theory that Mansour has.
But you can't shoot that many hard punches in a row, that many combinations, and not have to take 15, 20, 25 seconds to regroup after that. And that's a great opportunity for Kassi to step to him and make Mansour continue to work.
After so many kitchen sinks, you got to remodel if things aren't working.
Well, you know, Mansour did a little bit of remodeling for this fight, so it always gets better.
Let's check in with Chris.
Chaz, what do you want to see from Fred out there?
He's doing good so far at the beginning. We expect to be a little tough at the beginning and keep making him use his legs and swing for the fences, and I'm sure in the end we'll come back and stop.
You like the pace of this fight so far?
I love the pace, you know.
What do you like about it?
You know, Amir's explosive, comes out hard in the beginning and kind of neutralized. He hasn't been able to do what he normally does. A lot of opponents get him out of there early. So he's doing all right. We didn't expect really to win. The first couple of rounds, we're going to come back in the end, and actually we're not close rounds.
So you didn't expect to win?
No, not expect to win, but we expected close rounds. We're trying to win by a little, but I'm sure in the end we'll pick it up. First started to touch him, not worry about hurting him. Then in the end we're going to try to hurt him. You know, right now we're just trying to touch him.
Thanks, Chaz.
Well, it seems the strategy's pretty clear. They're here for a knockout.
Well, that's great advice. He said, you know, what I think Chris misunderstood him a little bit. He said we didn't expect to win the early rounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think anyone did, but, you know, Fred is getting more and more in this fight. You know, to say he's winning this round, I'm not sure about that, but he is getting closer to Amir, and he's definitely doing some good things in there.
Well, it seems like they're banking on Mansour to gas out. You know, we've seen that he does huff and puff a little bit in the end rounds, so they're giving up the early rounds to capitalize on these late rounds.
Fred looks like he's settled into that southpaw stance. He's more comfortable fighting Amir as a southpaw, and you know, he's really not taking as many punches as he was, but he's still got to let his hands go more. We're almost halfway through the fight now.
Change in style. The strategy seems to be go for the big punch for Kassi.
Bring it back up. Let's double it up, all right? But I need you to stay off these ropes, all right? Okay. You're not doing bad, but stay off the ropes. That's where he's doing his best work at. Stay in the middle of the ring, give him lateral movement, bro. All right? Let's use them legs, bro. All right? Don't rush.
We see in the last round here, Amir Mansour is loading up a bit, and Fred Kassi actually had some success in making him miss, rolling off some of those punches, making him miss some of those shots, and Amir at times looked a little arm wear in that last round.
As we heard Chaz Aguilar say between rounds, telling Fred Kassi stay off the ropes because he is able to avoid some punches when he's out in the middle of things. As we start round 5, scheduled for 10, Mansour, the southpaw, and Kassi, the orthodox fighter who has fought a lot southpaw in this fight.
And we just saw something that I haven't seen in a long time. Amir swung with an overhand left, missed the shot completely, and turned around completely because he swung so hard. That's what the corner of Fred Kassi's banking on. Big no-no for Amir. Doesn't need to load up like that.
Amir well ahead on the power punches by 16 right now, landing.
That's one of the downfalls of swinging so hard, you know, in your punches. You know, you make a guy miss after a swing like that, it takes energy away from him.
And I have no problem with Amir if he wants to swing that hard, but shoot it to the body. You don't have to shoot it to the head. You know, chop his body down first and put all that power and all that leverage into Fred Kassi's body, and the head will fall. Good body shot by Amir a second ago.
He must have heard you.
No punch, no punch, no punch. But those are the areas right there when Fred gets close to Amir. Whenever Amir's a little bit arm wear, he's trying to hold on for a second. He's got to hit him with the short right uppercut on the inside, get his head up, make Amir a little uncomfortable in there because he's lunging in, landing big shots, and when he's missing, Fred's not making him pay, so there's no consequences.
Amir doing good work with his jab tonight. You know, that's about 5 jabs right there in the past 10 seconds, 15 seconds. He's doing a good use of the jab.
Load up with a big right hook there. He's got so much leverage, and he's a small, compact fighter. Southpaw, those punches come from different angles, but, you know, Fred's doing a good job, too, of neutralizing a lot of that, and I didn't expect Fred to be, you know, this tricky on the inside. Not that he's doing anything great himself. He's still not landing enough punches, but at least he's evading a lot of the Amir Mansour attack.
Well, one thing he's doing is staying closer to the power puncher. You know, that kind of nullifies some of the power there. But Mansour is mixing it up a bit. And, I mean, look at Kassi. He's looking very comfortable. You know, he's comfortable, he's confident. We'll see if the game plan works.
There you see punches thrown. They're very close. Mansour throwing 13 more punches than Kassi so far, according to CompuBox here in this, the 5th round.
You can see Kassi loading up on that right hand. No problem if you want to shoot the right hand, you miss it, all right? But come back with the left hook. That's what his corner was asking him for earlier. He still hasn't been able to do that. But especially when you're fighting a southpaw fighter, you know? If you're going to shoot that right hand, shoot the left hook. Now he's back in the southpaw stance. Shoot 2 and 3 punches together, and you'll have a 50 to 75% higher chance of connecting.
Good combination by Mansour, downstairs and upstairs. With Kassi going southpaw, that also could mess a guy's head up, you know, because you've trained for an orthodox fighter throughout the camp, and, you know, it may mess a guy up, you know, sometimes.
10 seconds.
Round 5 coming to an end. We're moving into the second half of this one between the heavyweights. It's scheduled for 10 here on Fight Night. And back live, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Fight Night main event, heavyweights. Amir Mansour trying to bounce back from his first career loss, taking on Fred Kassi. Kassi's been off for over a year. He's putting up a good effort right now, 18-2 in his career. You see the punches, according to CompuBox, through 5 rounds. Mansour landing 21 more, both men throwing over 300 punches. A good pace for these heavyweights as we start now into the second half of this fight. Kassi in the green with the black, and the red and the black is Mansour. Mansour, many thought, might be able to finish Kassi off by this stage, not knowing a lot about Fred Kassi, but he has been resilient and surprising as southpaw fighter for an orthodox fighter he's turned into in this fight.
Yeah, he's done a good job so far, Ken. He started the fight orthodox. Amir was getting off, switched up southpaw, showed a bit of versatility, and that's kind of rare in this heavyweight division. So, you know, he's relaxed in there. He hasn't been winning rounds, but, you know, it's just a matter of time. If you hang around long enough, sometimes you wake up and you're in the fight, and it looks like in the beginning of the 6th round, he really wants to get involved and get it more active. And
we heard in the corner, Steve, that seemed to be the strategy, is let Mansour wear down. They think he will, at least, and then Kassi can close this fight strong. That's the plan.
Well, I mean, if you watch what Kassi's been doing, he's been applying pressure without punches, but he's just been walking in front of Mansour, staying there. Like, look at that, those little jabs, just being there, being present. Letting Mansour know I'm still a threat, I'm right in front of your face. That's putting on a type of psychological pressure. It's beating Mansour down a little bit mentally, and he's wearing. You can see he's huffing and puffing a bit.
Let's check in with Chris.
Moses, what do you want to see out of Amir?
I want to see him keep the jab on him, and I want him to hit the boy's body. He need to hit his body, and then when he bring them hands down, then hit him upside his head. The kid can take a punch. You can see that.
Not a lot of tape on Fred Kassi coming into this. How difficult was he to prepare for?
Just cut him off.
It was very hard, bro, because he didn't have no tape at all on him. No tape whatsoever. Only a sparring session. That was all we saw, yeah.
What'd you see there?
When the sparring session, you can't tell too much, you know, because he didn't show too much. He didn't show that he know how to move a little bit.
Thanks, Moses.
Well, Kassi's fights, most of them have come down south and in the southwest, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, his home, his adopted home of Louisiana. That's where most of his fights have been. Certainly not on a stage this big, no national TV exposure. And many thought he hadn't fought a guy as tough as Mansour coming into this fight.
Well, I don't think he has fought a guy as tough as Mansour, but, you know, sometimes certain guys step up, and, you know, let's not paint the wrong picture of what's going on in this fight. Amir Mansour is winning this fight. There's no question about it through 5 rounds.
Every round, it would appear.
No question, but it's just maybe a bit surprising that Kassi's still here, and then, you know, he's a relatively unknown, and we don't know anything about this guy, and like Mansour's corner said, hey, we didn't say anything on him. We have no tape. We have nothing on him. But sometimes those are the hardest guys to fight, Kenny.
Good movement by Mansour. You know, good head movement, good hands. He's running his hands. He's there in front of Kassi. Mansour wants to put pressure to fight. But Kassi, like we said, he's just there taking punishment. He's absorbing punishment and putting out some punches here and there. I think he's just trying to wear Mansour down mentally.
And you made a good point, BJ, especially as Mansour makes no doubt about it. He wants to take a big step up in the rankings with everything. So with that, most people look at finish him off, knock him out. That's what people want to see. They think that's the way to move up.
Yeah, people want to see the knockouts, Kenny, of course. And, you know, it's just a natural when you got a guy with 15 knockouts and 20 wins. You know, you expect, you know, you get your popcorn really quick.
Here's Mansour going for it. We take a look at some of the action in this, BJ.
Hey, you see him really loading up with that signature right hook. Kassi staying in position, though, landing a nice counter left afterwards and trying to dig some body punches of his own. But Amir Mansour focusing on the body. Nice work by Amir.
The defense, he's doing the lean back defense. He's just in there absorbing shots, catching them on his elbows. They're body shots, so some guys can take body shots better, some can't. But Kassi's just in here absorbing punches and wearing Mansour down mentally.
Don't lose your balance when you throw the punches. Don't lose.
Come on, bro. We got a lot of people watching. Let's make it happen for him, bro. Let's do this.
Chaz Aguilar, a little encouragement for Fred Kassi.
Let's dig behind the elbows. Deep breath. Stand up, yeah, deep breath. There you go. Give him some water.
And back to live action here on Fight Night in Bethlehem. Go to round 7, scheduled for 10 between the heavyweights. Amir Mansour in the red and black. He has been winning round after round. Very strong fight. Good right. A couple of good rights there by Mansour.
And you see Mansour caught him with a great right hook, a nice overhand left. Beautiful punches, hard punches, but Kassi rolls with him just enough to take a little bit of the power off, just enough to where it doesn't quite knock him out. It caught him, it buzzed him, it hurt him, but he's still able to use his experience in there to elude and take some of the full power off the Amir Mansour shots.
Kassi weighing in at 233 for this fight, Mansour 232. Two big men in there.
Very big guys, both guys athletic, and you see, Amir Mansour's having his way, but Kassi still, he's not laying down, he's still trying to land his own punches, but he's standing a little too straight up on the inside, and it's going to leave him susceptible to those overhand lefts and those right hooks standing straight up. He needs to bend his knees a little bit.
And you heard the anticipation of the crowd, Steve, when he landed that big right and then that left. They're looking for that knockout.
Yes.
That's what they want to see Mansour do.
Yeah, man, you got a guy like Mansour, his physique and his size reminds you of Mike Tyson, so these guys want to see what Mike Tyson did. They want to see knockouts. Anyway, the fans want to see knockouts regardless.
Steve, he reminds me of Clubber Lang. I'm going to say it again. He really knows how to punch with that right hook. And I tell you what, when I was young, I used to watch that movie, and I'd ask my dad, I was like, how does he shoot so many? How does he punch so hard with his right hook? And my dad didn't really have an explanation for me, but now watching Amir Mansour all these years later, I mean, he's got that same type of Clubber-esque power with that right hook, and it's just it's fun to sit here ringside and watch it, guys.
Well, that says a lot about him. You don't get a Mike Tyson and a Mr. T reference often in the same fighter.
A whole lot of more.
Well, Clubber Lang was a southpaw, and he was from right down the road, Chicago. Amir's from Philadelphia, so you see where I'm going with this.
You're saying Rocky Balboa might be next for Amir if he wins.
Now we see a lot of blood coming out of the mouth of Amir Mansour.
Yes.
Some just spit blood.
He's down. Mansour has knocked him out. A thunderous right by Amir Mansour, and Kassi is out cold.
And they need to take a good look at Kassi right now. He's in bad shape, Kenny. He went straight down on his face. His eyes really aren't moving too much, so everyone needs to take a step back and just give Kassi some room here to operate. He's still out.
That was a devastating one-punch knockout by Amir Mansour.
You guys were talking about he needed to get a KO.
That was that right hook. Kassi was standing a bit too straight up against the ropes. He caught him with that shot, and Kassi still looks to be in bad shape here, guys.
That was as devastating a knockout as you will see.
Sound like a
Kassi went out cold with that one-punch power of Amir Mansour.
Caught him with a good first shot, set it up with a nice left-hand right hook. And then, after that, he saw Kassi stand straight up against the ropes. Feet were squared together, had nowhere to go. Shot the nice right hook, caught him right on the chin, picture perfect. Kassi down face first. I just hope he's all right now.
Chris Mannix telling us that he is responsive. As you look at the scene here, and that shows the power that Mansour has.
Wow.
And when we were talking about a little bit of blood coming out and Kassi was kind of frustrating him at times, even though Mansour was in control of the fight, that's how quick, in a blink of an eye, Mansour can turn a fight around.
Wow. That's that kitchen sink theory right there.
That was the refrigerator and the washing machine and everything else in one big right that simply floored Fred Kassi. As you see, they continue to attend to him.
And one thing a bit frightening here, guys, is Kassi still has his legs crossed exactly how they were when he just separated them right there. So he is gaining a bit of responsiveness now, but they're putting him on that stretcher and making sure he's okay. So hopefully he's okay here, and just nothing but hope here for Fred Kassi how they're treating him right now. Let's hope he's all right.
Mansour comes to check on the scene. Let's check in with Chris.
Guys standing just a couple of feet away from Fred Kassi. He is still down, obviously, but he is responsive. They do have an oxygen mask on him right now, obviously trying to take off his gloves at the moment, but his eyes are open, the neck brace is on, and obviously the next step is to take him out on the stretcher.
Precautionary measures with the brace and with the stretcher in these situations. Thank you for that, Chris.
Very dangerous sport, but, Kassi looks more responsive. He's talking. I see him moving his lips. He'll be okay.
Now he's moving his feet, moving his legs, but people tend to forget, in this boxing business, it's not a game, and fighters risk their life every time they get in that ring, and this can happen at any time. And You know, Amir Mansour, congratulations on a fantastic win. Fred Kassi was giving him some good work, and I just, at this moment, all I care about is hoping for the best for Fred Kassi and hoping that he recovers and that he's okay now, because he took a very hard shot there, and we just hope for the best for him. You never want to see a fighter get injured like that in the boxing ring, but it does happen.
You guys have seen a lot of fights, not just been in them, but been around the sport all your lives. You don't see too many knockouts, that kind of power, that sudden, and that devastating, BJ.